Hello, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to another amazing edition of Let's Talk 1943. I'm your host, Regina Smithwick, and we have a special guest today, Mr. Lee Harrison, and we're going to be talking to him about what he does for the nonprofit organizations, and I'm looking forward to it. So, like I always said, you ready? Let's talk. All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, I'm your host, Regina Smithwick, and let me formally introduce Mr. Lee Harrison. And he's now has opportunity to help nonprofit organizations and for Christian ministries, human resource organizations, and daycares by helping them manage risk and providing them with a niche insurance solution. And he is now with Brittner Henry. So once again, welcome, Lee. How are you?
I'm doing well, Miss Regina. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So let's just dive on in and give me a little bit about you, and then we'll talk about what you do.
All right. So I grew up in Edgecombe County, like Tarboro area, and so I went to college and became a math teacher, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I taught for about 8 years in the high school and public high school setting in Edgecombe and Pitt County, and towards the end of the 8th year, I was like, I just feel like I need to do something else, and just like I was being called, kind of drawn somewhere else, and I started this like year-long process talking to people at Bittner Henry and asking a ton of questions, and was like, I think this is what I want to do, and the more I talked to them, the more I was drawn to it. So I got hooked up with them, and I interviewed, and they liked me, so they hired me, and now I work with churches and nonprofits, and it's awesome. I love it. So every day is a fun new journey. I always learn something new every day. So
Good. And when I first met you, you had told me that, and it just piqued interest. And that's something that I have a nonprofit as well, and that's how we met, through the nonprofit social that we do every Friday. And it sounds real interesting. So kind of give me a little bit of or how it works. Like, let's say for me, I want to come to you as a nonprofit, just starting out, just getting my feet wet, got my little toe in the water. It's like, so where will you take me with this?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. So we always sit down with our people that we're, our clients that we're interested in get some insurance, and we kind of talk to them, like, we find out what they do, and we try to tailor their property and liability and auto and workers' comp, all the fun stuff that everybody loves talking about, like all that fun stuff. We're nerds about it, so we talk about it, and we kind of see, like, what are risks that will be, important to you. What are some things that are going to be important to you in terms of your insurance program, and then what are some risks that you're going to have associated with your organization. And we try to come up with a tailored policy for them. And we go through about 18 different carriers, and we kind of shop it for them so they don't have to do it. So we know we try to take the headache out of the insurance, because we know that you guys are focused on a lot of things that are important for the community, and we want you guys to be able to stay focused on that. So we take care of the insurance for you guys, so y'all don't have to worry about it. So that's something we really are excited about, and we're really nerds about it. So it's fantastic.
You have got the right ones, right? The right ones.
Exactly. Exactly.
But that's amazing, because like you said, you named a whole list of insurance options. I mean, everything from auto to just liability to property to just to go in once, and you do the shopping, and you come back with this tailored policy that fits would it fit people who just started out that don't have a lot of funds, all the way
to yes, ma'am.
Big boys?
Yes, ma'am. We do it all. I'm actually working with a guy who just started a nonprofit counseling company out in Middlesex, North Carolina, our organization, and he's kind of doing biblical counseling, and I'm working on getting him a quote right now. And I asked him, I was like, what are you looking to spend? Because that's something we talk about. I don't want to just go out there and grab all these high number policies that are ridiculously priced that he can't afford. I mean, he just started back in January. Like when you look at his organization, you can see the birth date was January 1st of 2023. So he just started, and he's new, and he's like, I don't have a whole lot in the budget. So that's part of the process, is trying to find something that fits his budget, that also fits what he needs as far as his professional liability. So
that's great. That's great. So give me your why. Like, what made you decide from being a school teacher, and because regardless, both of these are caring professions, right?
Right.
So that core of you is always the same. But what made you change from that profession to what you're doing now?
Honestly, that was a really good question. I've always loved helping people, and always loved explaining things to people, like in a way that helps them out where they're at and reaches them where they're at. Whether it be math, obviously, because I was a math teacher and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. But I've always wanted to do something. I feel like I could do more in this career, and the fact that I could keep people from getting into situations that would put them in a financial bind or even destroy their organization just was really appealing to me. And the fact that I can help them manage risk and mitigate risk and transfer that risk to, to someone else, that they don't have to worry about it and take off take off their headaches, take off their burdens is what I should say. And so it really was appealing to me, the fact that like I could help a much larger scale of things that I honestly didn't even know was happening in our backyard. Like the Friday thing where I met you, I just thought that was so cool that we have so many organizations here just in Greenville and in Eastern North Carolina. They're like doing all these really awesome things. And I was like, man, it just makes your heart feel good, you always feel good as a teacher, but this is like on another level for me. It's awesome. It's a great feeling.
So you feel like you're actually doing more, and that's where you felt the lack of, you wasn't doing what, like finding your purpose. It's a trial and error, because the core is always the same, right? Like the core of you want to help people is always the same, but you still took your math with you.
Oh yeah, I just still do math every day.
Right, you're doing math every day, so the math part's still with you.
Absolutely. And it's cool because like, when I was teaching, like I do feel like I reached people, but it was like, out of a class of, 30 kids, there's maybe 2 kids in that class that I feel like I made an impact on. Whereas like with this, I'm working with an organization that's got an impact and a bigger reach. So it does feel, and I know I'm not directly reaching these people, but I'm helping the organization continue to reach the bigger number. So it feels different. You know what I mean? Like it hits on a different level. That's why it's kind of weird, but that's the easiest way I can explain it. It's just, it feels right,
Yeah, especially because with Britton and Henry, they specialize and they have a Christian underline. It starts off with that, so that's great right there, just alone. But it actually has the caring of a nonprofit daycare. Like you're taking care of the ones who take care of others. So you already have that in you when you talk to these people. So it's not just the money aspect. We all, of course, we all have to make money. That's the way the world works. But it's more than that with y'all. And I think that you have that will definitely help you out when you talk to people, because you have that heart to say, you know what, we can find something for you. Maybe you need to just grow into it, but let's get you started in a policy. And as you get more income, we can add more, more services to you, but we got to get you something to cover you. You can't be out here in the Wild West with nothing, because you'll get
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, and that's what's fun, is to have this conversation with these people, and like you kind of bring to mind like, hey, have you ever thought about this? Because this, unfortunately, this could happen and does happen, and it's like we want to keep this from stopping your organization, because your organization is doing a really cool thing and it's really helping a lot of people. And if you don't have protections in place, then who's to say that it might drain you financially, or it might land you some serious hot water that you can't get out of. And we want to keep that from happening.
Right, you can't. And this is great, because honestly, I will be talking to you after we get off the air today, because this is something I need as a nonprofit, and I started January 2023.
There you go. See, good timing.
So this is a good time to go in and go, okay, here's everything I do. I need to be covered for all of this. So you tell me what I need and we could work from there. And I do need that. And this is something I like my Let's Talk family to know. I learned just like y'all do, because I really need something like this for my nonprofit. But in general, insurance, we had a show about insurance, Lee, about 6 months ago, about taking care of your home. And like, is your house covered? Meaning everything under your auto, your life, your policies, is everything up to date? Is everything? And we did a show about that and how important it is for you to have insurance, period. Because a lot of people don't have insurance for nothing. They just walking around here, and if something happened, you'll go into like bankruptcy, and one incident could take you to a bankruptcy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's one of those things, like insurance is a weird thing, because it is the transfer of risk. Obviously, I mean, that's the definition of insurance, but it's like, you hope you never have to use it, but goodness gracious, when you have it, you're like, I'm glad I got it. Because if something does happen, I know I'm covered. And that's something we try to, we do a lot of like policy reviews with our clients and kind of explain to them, like, it just on demand. They're like, hey, I don't even know what my policy covers. We're like, well, let's talk about it. Like, I'll give you this nice, pretty PDF that kind of goes through, and I'll go through it line by line and say, this is where you got coverages. This is where you don't. If it's something we need to look into, let's look into it, because we want our clients to understand where they have their coverages and where they lie and why they're paying for what they're paying for. Because otherwise, a lot of companies, a lot of times, is just kind of like, oh, it's a number, here you go, and they hand it to you, and that's it. That's the end of the deal, and that's not how we do things. So
yeah, and that's more personal, because even with the insurance policy or insurance company I'm using, it was an easy setup. It was very easy
Right.
to set up, but there's no customer service. There's no phone number. Everything's online. They want to chat with you on a little chat box.
Yeah.
I'm 52. I'm from the old school. Like, I like the convenience of technology, but I still would like to talk to someone, because you cannot get the same feeling than you can when you do a chat box, because it'll take you so much longer to explain stuff. If you just pick up the phone, let me talk to you, you'll know in a matter of like 30 seconds what I need.
Well, and there's two things I want to say to piggyback off that. Like, so when I taught right in the middle of COVID, right before COVID, of course, and then through COVID, and then I taught a little bit after COVID. And it was crazy to see how much those kids craved real human interaction. Because when we did the whole virtual thing, it wasn't good. It was not good for anybody. And honestly, like, that's how we are as humans. I think God built us that way, that we have to have human interaction. And one of the things I love about Bittner Henry is the fact that we have a customer service team. So like when you call our number, like, you're going to get somebody, and they're going to know exactly where your policy is and how to find it and how to help you out with it. And it's really cool. Like, even if you can't get me as your agent, because I'm the guy who handles like all the paperwork, you can get the customer service team, and like, they're dedicated, like, they're serious about it, and they're all licensed. They're all like just like me. They know what they're doing. They're not just like some random 1-800 number. Like, they're legit people that I know. Like, I talk to them on a regular basis, and they're just awesome. Like, they're so quick to respond on anything I send them. So I love it. I love working with these people.
Oh, it's good. And that's good to know. That's totally good to know. Like, I mean, I'm talking about my experience, but I noticed a lot of people who in their late 30s up are used to customer service in a certain way. Yeah. We like the option to choose that, but we like to have it, and they taking it away. A lot of companies don't have phone people no more, and that's not cheaper. Good.
Yeah, it's cheaper, and it saves. Companies usually do that to save money, and I hate it, because I mean, I get where they're coming from. I mean, it is a business, but at the same time, it does take away that personal touch of like, hey, these people actually care about me, and they know my account, they know what's going on with me, and know how to help me, and are going to help me. They're going to jump on that as soon as they can. So it makes a difference. I feel like it makes a difference, and that's one of the things I love about Bittner Henry and American Church Group. They're serious about it. They take it very seriously. They're all nerds. We're all nerds about this stuff. So
and I love nerds. I love them.
It's good to
y'all have a knack of stuff that it goes over my head, and y'all, it's nothing to y'all. It takes everyone to make the world go around. It takes all types of people, and it's like God blessed us with all gifts and talents. And there's certain things I know I'm not good at, and I leave it to people like you. I'm not trying to do everything. I have my own lane. I'm a visionary. That's my job. Everything else, I can get people to do it. Because I learned that over my years, all that trying to nickel and dime and all that trying to do everything. It just wears you down as you get older.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I don't think you're that old, by the way, personally, but I'm according to yours, I'm a younger guy, and I get worn down by doing stuff that I'm not really, I don't want to say qualified for, but I'm not like built for, I'm not wired for it. So like, I know what you mean. It's a real thing. So
it is. And when you have something like this with a service that includes all those policies into one, you're not shopping over here, shopping over there. You're not trying to go over here, talking to all these people. Literally, you get everything under one. You pay one fee, and everything is under that one thing. And you call one person, get everything fixed.
Exactly. It's all one central location. We try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, you sold me. So let's talk about the American Church Group part of this. You mentioned it a couple times. So tell us a little bit about that.
So yes, ma'am. The other side of our company is American Church Group, and we represent Brotherhood Mutual, and we work with about 2,500 North Carolina Christian ministries. And Brotherhood's really cool. The company we represent is really cool because they only work with Christian ministries. So like, that's all they focus on. So like, they really know their stuff. So all the policies they build, it has to tie into a ministry that is, preaching the gospel and trying to expound on the gospel and reach lost souls. So it's really cool to work with them and kind of see some of the churches that we get to work with. And I say churches because that's, the general population is churches, but we do work with other things. I work with there's an account that I have in a Youngsville area that works with domestic abuse victims, and it's just really cool. So they are a nonprofit, but they're a Christian nonprofit ministry, and it's really cool to like some of the organizations that we get to talk to through that way. And then the reason we do the Bittner Henry is if they're not considered a Christian organization, we can help them out still, even though they're doing what we consider to be the gospel, spreading the gospel
and outreach.
So exactly. So it's really cool. That's why we try to cover all our bases there.
Okay, so basically what the American Church Group is the same policies and stuff, but it's for a church per se, like a brick and mortar.
Kind of, it's still property. It's still property and liability and casual property and liability, auto and workers' comp. It's still all those, but it's specifically through the company that we represent is Brotherhood Mutual for those, and they're just very church specific and Christian ministry specific. So they're the ones who kind of handle like more of the Christian ministry side of things, and they're just solid. They know their stuff. They're really good. So
Okay, I got you. So before we close out today, and this has been amazing. Like I said,
Thank you.
I'm going to be talking to you in about 2 minutes. So this is amazing. So before we close out, can you give my audience something, or um, actually your information? And actually, I think, okay. Yeah, so let's give them your information, or how to contact you, how to reach you.
Yeah. So honestly, the quickest way and the easiest way is my cell phone number. It's my personal cell phone number. So that's why I say, like, if whenever you guys work with us, the easiest way to get up with me is just to call me directly, because you've got my number. So I'll give you my number, and then I'll give you my email addresses. My number is 252-813-0473. Again, that's
813.
252. Yes, ma'am. 252-813-0473. And you can call me, text me. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll respond. As long as I'm not eating with my family, I'm probably going to respond. That's about the only time I don't respond, is I kind of put my phone to the side. And oh,
Okay.
cool, I see it up there. That's awesome. And that's pretty sweet. And then my email address, I have two email addresses. I have lharrison@bittnerhenry.com. And then the other one is the American Church Group one. It's going to come to me either way. It's lharrison@americanchurchgroup.com. So either one of those, I check them all the time. I have them on my phone, so I get them as soon as they come in. So yeah, so those are the easiest way to get with me. But the phone number is probably the quickest. I can talk while I'm driving. I got hands free, so it's safe. Okay. It's safe. I should say that. It's hands free.
Look, I sell insurance, so we don't touch the rail when we drive.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't do anything crazy.
We don't want to use the policy now. We don't want to use it.
Exactly. We don't want to use it, but we want to have it just in case.
So I wanted to make sure everybody sees the number scrolling on the bottom of the screen, 252-813-0473. Lee is able to assist you and help you in these policies. It's, like I said, this is a great opportunity for anyone with nonprofits, with churches, as well as daycares, to be able to contact him and get your stuff in order, right? Get your house in order. We've got our house in order spiritually and biblically. Now we need to get our actual physical house in order. You don't want the physical house to take you and somewhere you don't need to be when you're trying to serve the Lord. We want you to be able to serve the Lord and serve them little children, but we don't want you to be out there with no insurance. So then at the end of the day, what is it all worth when you don't have nothing at the end, right? Because you lost everything.
So, and not to like be crazy, but like, God expects us to be good stewards of what He's given us, and I think insurance is a good example of being a good steward of what God's given you, to protect what you've got and what God has given you.
It is, and it's in the Bible. It's like you have to insure your items. You have to insure. We live in the world. We live in a place called Earth, and you have to do certain things. And this is something that's important, but this is tailored to Christians. So this right alone is a safe haven. So definitely give him a call. 252-813-0473, and he will be there. Like he said, he will call you or call you back if he's not available. And I do thank you so much for coming on today, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. It's been very informative. So let's talk. My Facebook, my family. This is recorded, so we'll be shown again. So just in case you missed it, you can watch the replay and catch his information on there for you. But like I always say, thank you so much for joining me. Join us. Let's talk. We love you. God bless. And you have a great day.